What is going on, all my home buyers out there? My name is Omar Pineda, your Austin realtor with eXp Realty, and today we are in Georgetown, Texas, in a community called Patterson Ranch, and the builder we're looking at is Perry Homes. Perry Homes has their home starting from the $460,000 mark, and we're going to be touring the model home right here in just a second. Now, this model home is a one-story. It's 3 beds, 2 baths. Its floor plan is called 1948W. Now, with Perry Homes, they are very straight and to the point. So the name of the floor plan is typically what the square footage is. So this home has 1,948 square feet. It has a 2-car garage. It does have a home office at the very front of the house. And this floor plan starts from $476,900. So right now we're in the kitchen. Check out this, I wouldn't say walk-in pantry, but that's a decent sized pantry. Not too bad for a home of this square footage. Now, one huge plus about this community that I can't wait to talk about a little bit later in this video is the tax rate that I will share a little bit towards the end of this video. Now, one thing about Perry Homes that makes it really stand above the rest is its 2-year warranty when it comes to its workmanship. Typically, most builders offer a 1-year, but Perry Homes offers a 2-year. Now, take note of those windows that encompass almost the entire wall, because I love that they do that. You get all that natural light coming in. I mean, just look at that even in the primary bedroom. In the primary bedroom, you have the same kind of like wall of windows, so you can have all that nice natural light. So now we're towards the back end of the house where the primary bedroom is located. And we're about to enter the primary bath. There's only one walk-in closet. You have a nice shower tub combo. Now, one thing that I wish Perry kind of did with their website is have it be a little bit more intuitive when it comes to like what the upgrades are, like with some other builders, because I'm a little unsure if that tub and shower is standard or not. But that's a great question to ask when you're touring these model homes, is when, as you're walking through, have the salesperson point out what's standard and what comes as an upgrade. And typically in these model homes, you're going to have at least a couple tens of thousands of dollars worth of upgrades. So take it with a grain of salt when you're touring the model, and then you go tour like a spec home that's part of their inventory. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. So here on the same kind of side of the house, we have the primary or the additional 2 bedrooms that have a shared bath. Here's bedroom number 1. Now, one thing that Perry does do right on their website is they show the dimensions. So both of these bedrooms are 13 by 11. So it looks like you could easily fit a full or queen, or if you want to do like a king size bed, you could, but maybe you wouldn't have 2 dressers. Maybe you just have 1 dresser and then have like more of like a lamp on the other side, so it wouldn't feel too clustered, too cramped, I should say. But that's the beauty of having a stage home, is that you get to really get a feel for like the size of the furniture you would need to fill a room like that. That's a 13 by 11. Both of these closets for these rooms are very spacious. They're not your standard kind of slide door closet. These are, a very more walk-in closet. That was an extra storage room right there. Here is one of the second bath. So you have one full bath in the primary, and then the second bath that's shared between these 2 bedrooms. Again, this is a 3-bed, 2-bath floor plan. Okay, so there it is. That's the big. I think that's going to be the biggest draw to this community is its low tax rate. Before we get into that, here is the beautiful home office or study that is in the very front of the house. Now, typically, you could usually option this out if you want an additional bedroom, or if you want to keep it maybe as a formal dining room. You could definitely opt in for that if you're going to be building it from the ground up. But so this is like a very flexible space that the builders use, and typically they kind of stage it as a home office, because that's definitely the trend for more people working from home. So you have the beautiful French doors, and this is also a 10 by 13 for the home office. And all throughout the house, the ceilings are 10 feet tall. So that's kind of like right in the middle between like high ceilings and your standard. I believe it's like your 8-foot ceilings at your standard. So now we're on the outside back patio. This is a 17 by 10. This seems to me like an extended back patio. So I would bet that this was an upgrade to have a patio that large that's covered. But let's talk about this tax rate. This tax rate is what I think going to be a huge draw to this community, because 1.79 is on the lower end for sure. $50 a month for the HOA is competitive. This community does belong to the Georgetown school district. It is a gas community, and the buyer incentives right now, the builder Perry Homes is offering some type of flexible cash that you could use to help buy down that interest rate or use it to help pay for some closing costs. Now, this is all. There's not going to be a community pool. It's just going to be a playground, some paved trails that you can walk, and maybe a playground. So it's not going to be a huge amenity center for this community. That could be a positive or a negative depending on your preference. There's an elementary school that I will show you exactly what that is when this video is done, so you can see on the map here when I show you here in a second. So Perry Homes is just down to their last 20 homes, and that's it. That's it for this community. The other builder here, I believe, is Pulte Homes, and they're going to be building for the remainder of this subdivision. But Perry Homes is down to their last 20 opportunities. They didn't have that many to begin with, so I would guess between this year and next year, they'll probably be wrapping things up, and most of the homes will be sold because Perry Homes is a very well-known builder. They build a very good product, and they have a really good reputation within the industry. And again, they stand by that by having that 2-year workmanship home warranty. That's just huge. It's really going to cover all the little things as soon as you move in. So it's really going to give you that peace of mind if something happens. You're going to have that 2-year warranty. And they typically do not subcontract any of the warranty work out. They have their own people do it. That's how much, and I love that, because now you're not going to, the same people who probably built this house are the same ones that are going to be doing the warranty work, at least for those 2 years. Okay, so this video is going back from the beginning. So let me pause here. Let me share my screen so I can show you a couple more things. So here on the map, this is where Patterson Ranch is. Okay, and we have Perry Homes and Ashton Woods. So it's Ashton Woods and Pulte Homes that are going to be building, that have a lot more homes that they're going to be building. Perry Homes only has 20 more, and then they're done. So the great thing about this area is that it's location. You're right in the middle between two major highways. You have I-35 and you have the 130 toll, right? So chances are, if you're not one of the lucky few that is working from home and you're going to have to commute to work, you'll probably be going south, because that's where the good chunk of the majority of all the jobs are, and especially if you work in the tech sector, you're going to be working off Palmer Lane. And here's where the Apple campus is. You have Indeed at the Domain and Dell Computer and Samsung, right? So this is Palmer Lane, and you can see how Palmer Lane cuts through I-35 and 130, so you're going to have easy access to major highways like that. And let's say you're working at the new Samsung plant, right? That is a short commute within this community. So here's Patterson Ranch right here, right? So let's just see how far that is. Let's see, between Patterson Ranch and Samsung, we're looking about 12 miles. That's a good commute. And let's say you're working all the way down in Indeed. You're working in the Domain from this community. I know when I was touring this community and I was talking to the salespeople that there are people moving into this community or in this area in general that work at the Domain. So that just tells me that people are comfortable with that commute. So that shouldn't be a deal breaker if you want a short commute time, if you're looking for a brand new home, especially because this community is right between Georgetown and Round Rock. I believe it's right here. Let's just say it's right here between that and that. What is that? Did you not give me the measurement? Okay, that's Patterson Ranch. Measure. Okay, what is that? 15 miles, approximately 15 miles. Still, that's within a good commute time if you ask me. 10 to 15 miles, that's not too bad, especially if you're coming from another state where the traffic is just a lot worse. So Again, here's Patterson Ranch. Here's another positive. Other than being close to major highways, you're going to be kind of like right in the middle between Georgetown and Round Rock. And in my opinion, Round Rock and Georgetown are like the most beautiful cities in Williamson County. There's so many things to do indoor and outdoors. I mean, Georgetown, for instance, you're going to be very close to downtown Georgetown. Let's see how far that is. That's going to be between here and Georgetown, within 5 miles. That's almost 3.5 miles. And the city square in Georgetown is beautiful. I know it's award winning. They won an award within the last couple of years of just how pretty it was. And you have the Williamson County Courthouse that's there, and it gives you those small town vibes. You have that red brick. This is where you would go for your coffee run, or if you just want to go for, it's very walkable, and you could just go in and out all the little shops. I know when I have visitors coming from out of town, I definitely take them to downtown Georgetown because it's just so pretty to walk. And you have the San Gabriel River that cuts through Georgetown, and you can see all the green here. These are all parks that hug the river. You can go fishing. You could definitely go walking your dog. There's multiple playgrounds. I mean, it's just a really pretty area to walk. And then you have Lake Georgetown. You can go. You can do a lot of recreational activities there. And then you are right in between Georgetown and Round Rock. And in Round Rock, there's even more to do. You know, you have Kalahari Resort, you have the Old Settlers Park. There's a tons of things to do in Round Rock. They're very well established cities. I mean, you have the Dell Diamond here. If you want to watch, believe it's AAA ball. And so that's a great thing about this area and location is, one, the low tax rate, and two, how close proximity are to just all the general conveniences and things to do. So last but not least, let me just share the inventory that I'm seeing. So let's see. So since everything you see here, that's a Red Sea, that is what's been closed within the last couple of months. So let's just say since March of this year, they had two closings in March. In April, they had, let's see, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They had 7 closings in April. In May, they had around 5. And in June, they had around 3. So they've been steadily closing and selling homes since March of this year, which is telling me that this community is doing really well. And I think as more people come to learn about this community, and it's the low tax rate, and you're getting a brand new home, a brand new Perry home at that, that's going to really increase demand. They currently have, so these orange peas are all the pendings. So these are in escrow. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 currently pending, and everything in the green is what's currently available that's on the market. But this is between Perry Homes, Pulte Homes, and Ashton Woods. So if your budget is within $399,000 and $559,000, then you like this community, it checks a lot of the boxes, then let's schedule a time to go tour these homes. Now, take a look at this. This is the list price compared to the close price. Here we go. The list price compared to the close price. Now, if you go and pause this and look down the screen, you will see that there are a few instances where what they offered as far as the listed price, it did not close with that price. So there's still some wiggle room. There's some room for negotiation. So even if you don't quite meet this $399,000 mark, and you're within 5 to 10% of that number, I would still say that there's still a viable opportunity here because there's some room for negotiations, right? And on top of that, because this builder is offering an incentive to help, especially buy down that interest rate, if we can buy down that interest rate low enough, we can increase your purchasing power enough so you can qualify and possibly afford to be able to move into this community, right? Because a Perry home, really, the value stands because, again, they have a good reputation within the industry, and they stand by it because they have that 2-year workmanship warranty that usually it's just a 1 year for most other builders. So they are kind of leading the industry with that 2 year. And on top of that, the location, that low tax rate you're going to be thanking yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now, because of how low that tax rate is. And then your neighbors and your friends who have like a 2.5 and above, they're going to be feeling that because the tax rate coincides with the value of the home, and that spread between like 1.79 and 2.5, they're going to feel that in the years to come. So if you are interested in touring touring Prairie Homes in this community, then let's schedule a time to talk. I'll have all my information linked in the description. The best way for us to kind of start and move forward is to do that consultation. It's super convenient. Most people are familiar with Zoom, and that way we get that face-to-face time and we can really take a deep dive in the criteria of what you're looking for and seeing this community is the right fit, because there's so much new construction happening around the Austin area that you're going to have options. Buyers, you're going to have options. It's your turn. It's your time. We're definitely in a buyer's market. That's why we're seeing these awesome, crazy incentives that these builders are offering, because there's a lot more inventory piling on. And with supply and demand, when inventory increases, you, the buyer, is going to benefit from that, because prices are going to kind of dip down a little bit and incentives are going to kind of increase a little bit, because builders have a lot of competition amongst themselves. And you, the buyer, ultimately are going to benefit from that. So please subscribe to the channel, like this video. Especially subscribe to the channel. I'll tell you why. Because I do all of my own content. I edit, I fly my drone, I record everything. So I'm able to really push these videos out very quickly. And that's important to you, the buyer, especially for new construction, because a lot of these incentives are very time sensitive. And if you don't take advantage of it when I drop a video, like say, and a lot of these incentives could be tied in to like maybe that one particular weekend or maybe that one particular month. And as I'm recording this in July, and what the incentives are now, they might be way different in the fall of this year, or maybe even next year if you're watching this in 2025. And that's why it's very important. Subscribe to the channel, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out, because I drop videos weekly, because I am touring these homes, these communities weekly to stay up to date with all the new construction happening, because there is a ton of it. And it's very exciting to keep up with everything, because you really get to see just how quickly everything's kind of changing and growing. And I'm a big fan of change and growth. And if you are too, then we're gonna get along just fine. And if you're moving from out of state, I work for a lot of out-of-state buyers. I'm an out-of-state person myself. I'm originally from California and moved to Texas around like a little over, what is it now? It was in 2018. So that would be like almost 6 years now. 6 years now. Wow. Time just fly. So my name is Omar Pineda. I'm your Austin Realtor with eXp Realty. I really appreciate it for watching. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and then catch you on the next one.